I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Quarantine with the Stars here on AfterBuzz TV. My name is Jeff Graham. Of course, this is our series where we're interviewing some of Hollywood's top stars, actors, showrunners, celebrities to talk about their experience both in quarantine, before and beyond. I'm joined by the incredible Juan Pablo de Pache. Personally, I'm a huge fan of him, so I can't wait to chat. Juan Pablo, how is it going?
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Good, man. I mean, that's kind of a loaded question right now, right? It's a crazy, crazy time for us.
I know. Yeah. There's way too much going on.
Are you in LA right now?
Yes, I am in LA. I've been here since the beginning, since March.
What part of town are you in?
I'm in Laurel Canyon area.
Okay, so for the most part, you're probably out of the craziness. I'm right on Fountain, Fairfax, so there's been a ton of protests coming through my area. Luckily, it's been peaceful, and it's actually encouraging, I think, to see so much social activism right now, but it's definitely a very interesting time to be living in this city.
Absolutely, yes. And it's a really important time.
Yeah.
Because it was sort of long overdue, what's happening right now. So I'm glad it's happening finally, and that people are waking up to certain concepts that for some reason the rest of the world, well, I just feel like in here this was needed in America. Sure. I mean, yeah, I've lived in Europe, and this kind of stuff doesn't happen over there. So
yeah,
that's happening.
Well, I appreciate you speaking about it. It's a crazy time, and but I agree. It's clearly our country's in need of a really, really profound change. So let's hope and continue to see change happen in this country. Speaking of huge news, the final season of Fuller House just dropped on Netflix about a week and a half ago.
Yay.
How has that been? I mean, what an incredible legacy for you.
It's been amazing. It's been really, really, really cool because, we all love each other as people on Fuller House, and then to have these last 9 episodes come out and them being such a good ending to the series, it's been wonderful. It's been really, really great to share that with the world, because I mean, we shot them in November, up until all of last year, and we finished in November.
It probably makes you grateful that you guys were able to get that all wrapped and in the can before the whole world changed.
Yeah, because a lot of shows had to stop midway, and they're just there waiting. So yeah, we were lucky. We were lucky that we did.
I mean, it's got to be exciting for you too. I mean, not only Fuller House, but also Full House. Just that, that intellectual property is such a modern staple of American pop culture. What's it like for you to know that you're such an important part of something so huge?
Well, I mean, I'm like the new kid on the block in that, because they created the original series, and I sort of came in as the new guy. So it was nerve-wracking to join something so huge and so beloved by so many people around the world. So it was amazing to be welcome into that family. Because the fans of Fuller House, I mean, I don't know if you know, but the fans of Fuller House are incredibly vocal and incredibly excited and present, and they're amazing. So the fact that they accepted Fernando was a huge plus.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, congratulations. It's just, that's a staple of Netflix and will always be a staple of Netflix. So it's a really exciting legacy for you to leave. Speaking of legacies, I'm personally a huge fan of Dancing with the Stars. It's funny. My mom and I grew up watching that show together. Yeah. She lives in Ohio. I live in Los Angeles, but it's the one show that both of us watch. And we were both huge fans of you on your season. So it's nice to meet you. Can you talk a little bit about just your journey and experience on Dancing with the Stars for our fans who know you from there?
Where to begin? Dancing with the Stars was like a whole book in my. If I ever write a biography, it would be like 5 chapters of the book, because it's a whole thing. Like Dancing with the Stars, what people don't realize is that what they see on TV is a tiny fraction of what happens. There is so much going on behind the scenes. There is so much that you have to give up your life for whatever 3 months, because it's incredibly intense, and everyone is has got their tricks up their sleeve, sleeves. All the pros know exactly what they're doing, and they're all like keeping their cards really close to their chest. And so they all have secret weapons that then on the Monday night, they bring out the secret weapon, and it's like, oh, damn, we didn't think they were going to be as good or whatever. And then the amount of hours and hours of rehearsal, and Cheryl Burke, who is probably the quintessential perfectionist pro OG, more than anyone else. I was very lucky to get her because, we raised our game week by week, but that didn't come without lots of sweat, tears, and heart attacks.
Well, you talked about bringing out secret weapons, and I think we were all stunned to see that you could sing. I think you maybe did that before your Argentine. I can't remember.
Right. Yes.
But yeah, that was such a cool revelation. And of course, you have this profound background in theater too. I don't know. It's interesting to think about in this whole new world. Do you have any ideas as to when theaters may be reopening? And do you see yourself wanting to do more on stage?
I mean, I would love to. I would love to always do stuff on stage. If I could, I would always be on stage. But you're right. It is an uncertain time in terms of theater. I mean, I have friends who are Broadway producers, and Broadway is kind of like in this no man's land because it's a huge industry that's suffering, and it's going to be interesting to see how they come up with a way to open theaters, because they have to open. It's I don't know if it's like a safe distance between the seats, or masks, or temperature, or whatever it is when you go into the theater. But yeah, and there's nothing like, that's the thing, there's nothing like a live experience for an audience. When you go to the theater, when you go to a concert, there's nothing like it. And we can keep doing all these sort of Zoom virtual concerts and things, but nothing beats the live. And
I know.
So hopefully soon.
It's interesting. I was reading you were in Chicago. It's actually my favorite musical, and it's one of the things.
Oh, really?
Chicago. Yeah, I mean, I love the movie. I also love the stage show, and I think seeing that show was one of the things that made me fall in love with pop culture and art. And so I agree with you. I really hope we can figure out a way to recreate the live experience of entertainment, because it is a really essential part of storytelling.
Absolutely. It's funny you mentioned Chicago as your favorite show, because it was my favorite show before I joined.
Nice.
I was obsessed with it because I just loved how badass all these women were.
Totally.
And they just showed women as such strong characters. Mm-hmm. And it was amazing. And the choreography, and Bob Fosse and Anne Reinking, and the music by Kendra. I mean, I think it's the perfect musical. It's just so perfect. One of my friends is Neil Maron, who produced the movie. Mm-hmm. It's true. Things like that, and a show like that, for example, was a show that was literally a black stage, black costumes, and the whole thing was made with lighting. Yeah. And you can't really do that in cinema. In cinema, you have to go and show the places but in theater, you just create this world with literally just light, sound, and performance.
It's interesting to hear you talk about the creative process. You've been producing your own series, shooting, editing. It's called Minutia on your YouTube channel. It's very impressive. There's not a lot of both on-camera and on-stage talent who understand the behind-the-scenes components of production. It's been cool to see you kind of flex your creative muscles in that way. I know our CEO and founder, Maria Menounos, who was also a Dancing with the Stars alumni. Oh, yeah. She talks about how it's really important for talent to know and understand how to create their own content. Do you agree with that? And what inspired you to create the series on your channel?
I absolutely agree with her. I think when you have the hunger to be in front of the camera, when you can say lines as an actor, then it is your duty to also study what happens behind the camera, what it's like to write a script, what it's like to direct an actor, what it's like to edit. So I was always very curious about all that side, because it just makes you, when you're acting, it just makes you a richer actor to know what happens after and before your job. Mm-hmm. in my case, I've always saw myself as a storyteller because I do it through song, I do it through dance, I do it through acting and directing. So I love it. I just love it. I feel like it's like a jigsaw puzzle. You know, when you direct or write something, it's literally just putting the pieces together and playing God. You know,
Yeah.
you're creating this universe, and then you get to play about how this universe is going to be and how they interact and all that. So that and like you say, yes, I created the show Minutiae, which is really, it started in quarantine because I just couldn't stop doing what I do. So I was like, screw it, I'm just going to create something from scratch that I can do at home through Zoom. I shoot it with my friends. Andrea Barber is in it, Sony Nicole Bringus is in it, Jack Plotnick, who's amazing actor and writer. And and this next episode I have John Stamos.
Wow, not bad.
Not bad. So you know, it's been fantastic. Every Thursday there's a new episode, and I premiere it on my YouTube channel, 2 p.m. LA time, 5 p.m. New York time. But yeah, it's been a lifesaver just to have that routine. Like every single week, I have to write a new thing and direct a new thing and edit a new thing. So it gives me a routine, and also, like you say, it flexes the muscles of what I am as a storyteller. Because as actors, when you spend your whole life just acting someone else's lines, you never get to really understand what it would be like to say your own lines that come out of your brain.
Yeah.
I mean, people who do that amazingly are, you know, like people who go to the Groundlings, or you know, comedians or stand-up comedians who have to write their own material, or write their own sketches. And that's so valuable. So if any actor out there is listening, just go and write.
Does it make you want to be writing and directing like your own features, for example?
Duh. I've already written a couple, and I'm already directing stuff coming up soon. So yes, that's
great.
That's the natural progression.
I love it. It's exciting. You know, it's kind of the new era of Hollywood. I think that's really important, and it's going to put you ahead of the curve, I think. The last thing I want to ask you about, of course, it's Pride Month, and you were widely celebrated deservedly last year for, you know, publicly coming out as a member of the LGBTQ plus community. I'd like to kind of hear you speak on what it's like for you to be experiencing your first Pride Month as an actor, talent, and just why that was important for you to kind of come out publicly with that.
Well, it's incredibly important for me just to speak my mind. In my case, it wasn't even like a coming out thing. I was in no way, shape, or form in a closet, but I only told the people that were important in my life, my family, my friends, you know, my people who meant something to me. So, and I always believed it's no one's business to know what I do privately. But then it started getting to me, and I was like, I don't know if I'm doing myself a disservice by not being completely open, because I got this invitation to do a TED Talk, and it was by the students of the United World College, and they were like, we want you to speak for 18 minutes about whatever you want, but something inspirational and something that we can take something away from. And I was like, oh my God, a TED Talk is a big deal. What do I, so I chose to talk about the subject of how we tell our own, we are all writers in our own movie. I see life as a movie. Like, I don't know about you, but my life is always like a film. And there's like, you know, internal dialogue and music and location and, you know, drama. And that's the same with everybody. And so the TED Talk was about the movie that we tell ourselves. And if we live in a horror movie, or we tell ourselves that we live a horror movie, that's the life we have, you know. But if you're in an adventure epic movie, then that's the life you have. And so it brought me to talk about being part of the LGBT community, because a huge part of my life in choosing to be an actor, in choosing to be in the entertainment industry, stemmed from feeling rejected as a kid, as a gay kid, right? And so that shame that was brought in school is what made me be an actor. So without that, I wouldn't be who I am today. And then, of course, people interpreted it that, oh, he comes out, but it was just a way to demonstrate to these kids, even when you think something is painful in your life, even when you think something you want to forget, that thing might be the seed of something really important later on in life.
Well, it's an incredibly important message, no matter what that sort of seed of who you are is that you're, navigating. So we just want to say thanks. And I can't wait to see what you do next, Juan Pablo. I wish we had more time. I feel like I could chat with you all day, but as a writer, creator, actor, director, I know we'll be seeing you in Sundance in a couple of years or wherever you may be.
Yes.
But,
I love that. Thank you.
We'd love to have you back whenever. We're fans of you here at AfterBuzz TV. And in the meantime, if people want to connect with you, where's the best place to do that?
Yes, so they can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, and what's the other one? That's
Twitter.
Oh, Twitter. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Juan Pablo Di Pace. So it's my whole name all together. And then my YouTube channel, again, Juan Pablo Di Pace. For all the content, the new I premiere songs and the series on my YouTube channel. So just check out the YouTube channel. Every subscribe. Every week there's a new episode on Thursdays.
I love it. Well, Juan Pablo, we'll have you back soon. I really appreciate it. In the meantime, guys, this has been Quarantine with the Stars here on AfterBuzz TV. Of course, we were just chatting with Juan Pablo Di Pace. You can catch out his new YouTube series called Minutia. Try to say that times fast. New YouTube series, Minutia. And that's airing every Friday. So make sure you check that out. Juan Pablo, thanks again. And we'll see you next time here on Quarantine with the Stars.
Thank you, Jeff. Have a great day.
You too.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.